Susanna and Tina were sisters, and although they were very close, there was one big difference between them. Susanna, the older sister, was 5 years older than Tina, and she always seemed to have things under control. Both girls were beautiful and they had a lot in common, but their lives took very different paths because of one person, Vincent. Vincent was a brilliant young man who had been dating Susanna for some time. He was clever, kind, and loved Susanna with all his heart. But Susanna wasn't as serious about him. She only used him for help with her school assignments. Since Vincent was so smart, she would ask him to assist her with her homework and projects, pretending to care about him. Hello everyone, my name is Adaugo and you're watching the African Taste channel by Adaugo. Before we dive into today's video, please kindly click on that subscribe button and turn on the notification bell so you will be notified whenever I upload a new video. Now, let's get into the story. Deep down, Susanna didn't love Vincent the way he loved her. She liked him because he made her life easier. She never saw their relationship as something deep or long-lasting. To Susanna, Vincent was just a tool for her success, and that was all. But on her birthday one year, everything changed. Vincent showed up with a gift, smiling with excitement, hoping to surprise Susanna. He had planned to confess how he truly felt about her, thinking that it was the right time. But Susanna had other plans. As soon as Vincent handed her the gift, she took one, looked at it, and then looked him in the eyes. "Vincent, I need to tell you something," she said in a cold voice. "I never meant for things between us to get serious. I only ever used you for assignments. You mean nothing more to me. Nothing serious is going on between us. Don't ever think I love you." Vincent's face turned pale, his smile faltering. He had expected something kind, something that showed even a little care, but instead, he had words that broke his heart. He turned and walked away, the weight of Susanna's words pressing down on him. After that day, Vincent kept his distance, focusing on his studies and his future. He eventually graduated and moved to America, where he landed a good job. Life seemed to move on for him, but Susanna's actions haunted him. Years passed, and Tina, Susanna's younger sister, was struggling to get a visa to travel to America. She dreamed of going to see her sister, but there was a problem. Without the right paperwork, Tina couldn't travel. She had tried everything, but nothing seemed to work. That's when she thought of Vincent. Although Susanna had broken Vincent's heart, Tina had always been kind to him. She decided to reach out to him, hoping that he could help her. Tina sent Vincent a message asking if he could help her with visa paperwork. To her surprise, Vincent agreed without hesitation. "Of course, Tina, I'll help you," Vincent replied. "I remember how kind you were to me when I needed it. I am happy to assist you." Tina was overjoyed. She couldn't believe that Vincent, of all people, was willing to help her. With his help, Tina was able to get the visa and travel to America. Once she arrived, she couldn't wait to thank Vincent for everything he had done for her. After a few months in America, Tina decided to visit Vincent. She went to his apartment and they spent hours talking about life, about what had happened to them over the years. Tina could see that Vincent had changed. He seemed more confident and at peace with himself. As they talked, something unexpected happened. Tina began to see Vincent in a new light. She realized how kind, intelligent, and genuine he was. She had never truly noticed before, but now, as an adult, she could appreciate everything he had to offer. And Vincent, who had once been hurt by Susannah's actions, found himself drawn to Tina in a way he hadn't expected. What started as a simple thank you visit soon grew into long, deep conversations. They shared their dreams, their fears, and their hopes for the future. Over time, Tina and Vincent's friendship blossomed into something more. They began to date, their connection growing stronger with each passing day. Weeks turned into months, and soon enough, Tina and Vincent were married. It felt like a dream come true for both of them, and they couldn't believe how far they had come. What started as a chance meeting over paperwork had turned into a beautiful love story. But there was someone who wasn't so happy about this: Susannah. She had always thought she would have the last word with Vincent, the one person who had loved her truly. Now, years later, she found herself looking at her younger sister, her own flesh and blood, marrying the man she had rejected so harshly, and it drove her crazy. Susannah couldn't understand why this was happening. How could Tina, her sister, marry the man she had cast aside? The jealousy burned inside her. She had lost Vincent, but now, seeing him with Tina made it all seem so much worse. Tina noticed Susannah's change in behavior. Her older sister started to act distant, and she could feel the tension whenever they were together. Susannah would make snide comments or act passive-aggressive whenever Vincent was around. Tina couldn't understand why Susannah was being so cold. One day, when they were alone, Tina decided to ask Susannah what was wrong. "Why are you acting like this?" she asked gently. "I thought we were family. You know I never wanted to hurt you." But Susannah just looked at her with bitter eyes. "You've taken everything from me, Tina. First, you were always the sweet, innocent one. Now you've taken Vincent, the one man who ever truly loved me. Don't act like you didn't know what you were doing." Tina was shocked. She had never meant to hurt her sister. She had never even thought of Vincent in the same way Susannah had. But now it seemed that Susannah's jealousy was too strong to ignore. Tina's heart sank. She never expected to find herself in this position. But the reality of the situation hit her hard. It wasn't just about Vincent anymore. It was about the complicated web of emotions between sisters, love, and betrayal. Tina felt a knot form in her stomach as Susannah's words sank in. She had never imagined that her sister would be so hurt by her relationship with Vincent. She had always thought of Susannah as the confident older sister who knew exactly what she wanted. But now it was clear that things were more complicated than she had realized. "I didn't take Vincent from you, Susannah," Tina said quietly, her voice soft with emotion. "I didn't even want to be with him at first. I was just trying to thank him for helping me. I never thought it would turn into something like this." Susannah's expression hardened. "That's exactly the problem, Tina. You never thought. You never had to, because you always got everything easily. But Vincent and I, we had something real once. Or at least, I thought we did. You didn't even care." Tina was taken aback by her sister's words. She had never seen Susannah so vulnerable. It was like a part of her had been broken, and now she was projecting that pain onto Tina. "I am sorry, Susannah," Tina said, her heart aching. "I never meant for any of this to happen. I didn't realize how much it would hurt you." Susannah didn't reply. She just turned away, staring out the window, her jaw clenched tightly. The room felt cold and silent, the weight of unspoken words hanging heavy in the air. Tina knew she couldn't fix everything in one conversation, but she also knew she couldn't stand by and let her sister's bitterness take over their relationship. She had to do something. A few days later, Tina invited Susannah over for coffee, hoping to talk things through. She knew it wouldn't be easy, but she couldn't let the distance between them grow any bigger. Susannah arrived, still distant but willing to listen. "Sister, I know you are angry, and I know that I hurt you," Tina began. "But I don't want this to come between us. I want us to be close again like we used to be." Susannah looked at her, her eyes filled with sadness. "I don't know, Tina. I don't know if I can ever forgive you for what happened. You took what I thought was mine. You took Vincent, and now I don't know what's left." Tina reached across the table and gently placed her hand on Susannah's. "I didn't take him, Susannah. I never meant to. I know you had something special with Vincent, but I didn't realize how much that meant to you. I am truly sorry for hurting you." For a long moment, Susannah said nothing. She just looked at Tina, the walls around her heart still up. Then slowly her face softened and she let out a deep sigh. "I was selfish," Susannah admitted quietly. "I was so angry that you had what I wanted, that I didn't see how much you were struggling with your own feelings. I pushed you away because I couldn't stand the thought of losing Vincent. But in the end, I lost something more important, my sister." Tina smiled softly. "We've both made mistakes, Susannah, but we are family, and that means more than anything. I don't want to lose you." Susannah's eyes welled up with tears, and Tina could see the pain she had been hiding. "I don't want to lose you either," Susannah whispered. "I just don't know how to fix things." Tina squeezed her sister's hand. "We can fix it together, one step at a time." Over the next few weeks, the sisters worked on rebuilding their bond. It wasn't easy, and there were moments of tension and hurt. But slowly, they began to understand each other better. Susannah realized that Tina had never intended to hurt her, and Tina understood that Susannah's jealousy was rooted in her own insecurities. Meanwhile, Vincent and Tina's relationship continued to grow. They were happy, and the love between them was undeniable. But as Tina spent more time with Vincent, she also spent time with her sister, trying to bridge the gap between them. She didn't want Susannah to feel left out, but she also knew that she couldn't stop loving Vincent. One evening, as Tina and Vincent sat on the porch of their house, Vincent looked at her thoughtfully. "Tina," he said, his voice serious, "I know things have been difficult between you and Susannah, but I want you to know that I've never wanted to come between you two. You are both important to me." Tina smiled softly, her heart full. "I know, Vincent, and I want you to know that I am doing my best to make things right with Susannah. I don't want her to feel like she's lost me." Vincent nodded, understanding the struggle Tina was facing. "You are a good person, Tina. You are doing the right thing." But as the days passed, Susannah's jealousy still lingered. She found it hard to accept that Vincent was now married to her younger sister. Her emotions were a tangled mess of love, anger, and regret. She tried to put a brave face, but deep down, she couldn't shake the feeling that she had lost everything. One afternoon, Susannah came to visit and she sat down with Tina and Vincent. She had something important to say. "I've been thinking a lot," Susannah began, her voice steady but soft. "I've been holding on to my anger for too long, and I have realized that it's not helping anyone. Not me, not you, and not Vincent. I've been wrong, and I want to make things right." Tina and Vincent exchanged a look, and Tina smiled. "I am glad you're saying this, Susannah. It means so much to me." Susannah nodded. "I may never fully understand why things happened the way they did, but I do understand that I don't want to lose my sister over a man. I want us to be family again." Tina hugged her sister tightly. "We are family, Susannah, and nothing will change that." With time, the wounds between the sisters began to heal. They didn't forget the past, but they learned to move forward together. Vincent too was patient with Susannah, understanding that it would take time for her to fully accept the situation. But he knew their love was strong enough to weather the storm. As the days turned into weeks and the weeks into months, Tina, Susannah and Vincent learned the most important lesson of all. Love isn't just about who you choose to be with. It's about understanding, forgiveness and family. And sometimes, the hardest battles are the ones we fight to heal the relationships we value most. As the months passed, things began to settle down between Tina, Susannah and Vincent. The air between them had cleared, and while they weren't completely free from the past lingering tension, they had come a long way. Susannah, who once felt betrayed, began to understand that her anger wasn't really directed at Tina. It was about her own fears of losing something she had never fully appreciated until it was gone. And Tina, for her part, knew that healing the rift between them would take patience. But she was determined to keep her sister close. One sunny afternoon, Tina and Susannah sat together in the garden, enjoying the peaceful moment. The sound of birds chirping filled the air, and the breeze gently swayed the leaves of the trees. It felt like everything was finally falling into place. "I've been thinking," Susannah began, her voice soft, "about how I treated you, Tina. I know I hurt you, and I am so sorry. I have realized something important. Family is the most important thing, and I don't want to lose that, not for anything." Tina smiled warmly, reaching out to take her sister's hand. "Susannah, I never wanted to hurt you. I know it wasn't easy, but we've both learned so much. I think we are stronger now, don't you?" Susannah nodded, a tear slipping down her cheek. "It's funny," she whispered. "I spent so long holding on to that anger, thinking I was right. But now, I see how much I lost in the process. You're my sister, Tina, and I love you. I needed time to realize that." Tina squeezed Susannah's hand, her heart swelling with love. "We've both made mistakes, but that doesn't change the fact that we are family. We can move forward together. I'll always be here for you, no matter what." As they sat in the garden, talking and laughing, Vincent watched from the window, his heart filled with pride. He had always known that the bond between Tina and Susannah was strong, even if it had been tested. The love they shared was unbreakable, and he was grateful that in the end they had found their way back to each other. A few weeks later, Susannah made a bold decision. She had been feeling the pull to start something new in her life. She had always been so focused on what others thought, and it had held her back. But now, she felt ready to pursue her own dreams. She enrolled in a creative writing course, something she had always wanted to do but never felt brave enough to try. "I am proud of you, Susannah," Tina said one evening as they sat over dinner. "You are going after what makes you happy. That's amazing." Susannah smiled, her eyes lighting up with excitement. "It feels good to do something for me. I've been so focused on everyone else's expectations, but now I am finally living for myself. It's scary, but I know it's what I need." As the weeks turned into months, the bond between the three of them grew stronger. They celebrated birthdays, holidays, and simple moments together, creating new memories that would last a lifetime. Susannah's writing began to blossom, and she shared her stories with Tina and Vincent, who were always supportive and encouraging. One afternoon, as they sat together in their living room, reading over Susannah's latest work, Tina looked up at Vincent and Susannah with a smile. "You know," she said, Sometimes I think about how everything started, how it felt so messy and complicated. But now, looking at us, I see how much we've all grown. Vincent nodded, his hand resting on Tina's. Life is full of twists and turns. We don't always understand why things happen, but we learn from them. And in the end, we are better for it. Susannah smiled softly, her heart full. I've learned that love is more than just the easy parts. It's about forgiveness, understanding, and growing together. And I think that's what makes our relationship stronger than ever. Tina, Vincent, and Susannah sat in quiet contentment, knowing that their journey wasn't over. There would be more challenges ahead, more bumps in the road, but they were ready to face them together. They had learned the importance of family.